Coming off of a really good season and a Rose Bowl win, Penn State looks to shock the world and win the Big Ten. Here are 5 reasons why Penn State will win the Big Ten in 2023. Reason number 1, and maybe even the biggest and most important and probably the obvious reason, their running back core. Penn State has one of the best running back cores in the entire country. And I'm not just talking about the really elite running back duo. I'm also talking about their transfer running back, who will start off first, Trey Potts, probably one of the most underrated transfer running backs in this past cycle. Had about 1,000 yards in his career. That's not great, but had a decent junior year. I think he had about 600 yards rushing, a couple touchdowns, was behind Mo Ibrahim. Penn State adds him, as well as, one of the best duos in the entire country. And this is by far the brightest duo in the entire country. Noah Singleton, almost 7 yards per carry, 13 total touchdowns. Then you have Katron Allen, had about 1,000 yards total offense, 8 or 9 touchdowns. I mean, bringing both of these guys back, that's about 2,000 total yards, 20 touchdowns, ridiculous RB core. And our running back core is 1,000% going to boost this offense. But these two came literally out of nowhere last year. 2021, Penn State had one of the worst rush offenses in the entire Big Ten and in country as well. A couple running backs transfer, but these true freshmen last year step up and had an amazing season. They are insane at Penn State. Reason number 2, their DBs. This is one of the best DB core in the entire country. And oh, by the way, they might just have the best cornerback in the entire country, Kalen King. He is a game-changing corner. And when you have a game-changing corner who can make you plays and potentially even win you games, that's a huge added bonus for this defensive back core. You know, Keaton Ellis, another safety that they have. Jalen Reed, really good DBs. This DB core can take Penn State past what they did last year and win them games against probably one of the better passing offensive teams coming into this year, and really the most consistent pass offensive teams since 2019. That's Ohio State. When you have DBs that can match up nose to nose to one of the best, if not the best, wide receiving cores in the entire country, it puts a lot more pressure on Kyle McCord. So we'll see about that, but overall, these DBs are insane. Reason number 3, Manny Diaz. I loved this hire in the last offseason when he got fired by Miami for whatever reason. Got Miami to a 7-5 record. They kind of had, a shaky season, but their defense was kind of bad at Miami in 2021. Y'all hire him. Penn State hires him. Next thing you know, this defense improves from 2021. They have obviously one of the best defensive back cores, but probably one of the most underrated defensive lines. Listen, I hear a lot about the weight of Penn State's defensive line. I will tell you this much. Watch out for Chop Robinson this year. Transferred from Maryland a couple years ago, maybe even the last year. He is going to be really good at edge. But overall, the defense improving, and this defense has so much potential this year to not only be top 3 in the Big Ten, but to be the best in the entire Big Ten. Look into this team. They got a lot of second, third, and now fourth-year starters on the roster. Very talented team, especially defensively. But Manny Diaz, probably one of the most underrated defensive play callers in the entire country. And himself can take Penn State to the next level in year 2. Reason number 4, and probably the most unorthodox, is the lot of noise surrounding Ohio State and Michigan right now. Michigan just had Coach Jim Harbaugh suspended for the first 4 games for lying. And oh, by the way, J.J. McCarthy is starting to chirp about national titles and just forgetting about the Big Ten itself. In Ohio State, you got Ryan Day. Maybe a lot of his, quotes are being misquoted or taken out of context, but he's making a lot of weird claims. And Marvin Harrison Jr. talking about the Georgia game. A lot of noise surrounding those teams. Penn State's starting to fall off the radar. Penn State itself may just surprise a lot of people, not just how, good they are going to be defensively, but how much improved they're going to be through the air, which leads us to number 5. And reason number 5, probably the biggest one, Drew Aller. He is the key for Penn State this year. Listen, we know how good the running backs are. The offensive line's probably underrated, probably one of the best 15 best offensive lines in the entire country. We know the wide receivers. They just added a wide receiver from my school, Kent State, Cephas, who has over 3,000 yards in his career, almost 20 touchdowns. He's going to be a huge element to the offense on the outside at wide receiver. And the defense is going to be elite in 2023. The missing piece that Penn State has missed has been great, more than just great quarterback play. A QB that can win you games against elite talent like Ohio State, like Michigan. That's Drew Aller. He has so much talent, 5-star recruit, number 1 in his class of 2022. Played a little last year. So at some points, didn't really look too comfortable, but he's had an entire offseason to learn the offense a little bit better, have more reps, and oh, by the way, be the first team in starting QB. Drew Aller, and let's add the fact that the schedule itself kind of sets up for Penn State. Now, West Virginia, I don't know what to really expect for West Virginia this year. Neil Brown is probably going to get fired. I don't think he's that good of a coach. Then later on, you play at Illinois. That's going to be a really tough game, probably the most underrated defensive line in the entire country. Brett Bielema is a really good offensive, defensive line of scrimmage type of guy. That's going to be your first biggest test and probably your toughest test before the Ohio State game. Then you play Iowa, another really good defensive team. Offensively, we'll see about Iowa. And then 2 weeks of playing terrible teams, a bye sandwiched in between that, and then you play Ohio State. Ohio State may also have a loss before this game. It is a home game for Ohio State, though. But Drew Aller, if he plays just a little bit better than Sean Clifford, Penn State can definitely win this game. Fast forward, you play Michigan. This year you play them at home. If you look at Michigan's last 3 games, at Penn State, at Maryland, and Ohio State, you got to say to yourself, do you really think Michigan is good enough to go 3-0? Yes, I understand Michigan beat the snot out of you last year, but that was more on the line of scrimmage. I think Penn State's going to be way better on the line of scrimmage this year, and Drew Aller is going to have a really big impact on the offense itself. He is really the key for Penn State to win the Big Ten. I know this is a lot to ask him to do year 1 as a starter, but elite quarterbacks, this is how they are born in some of these biggest moments. So guys, those are my 5 reasons why I believe Penn State will win the Big Ten this year. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Penn State wins the Big Ten, or do you think it's going to be Michigan or Ohio State, or maybe even a wild card this year? Look out for Wisconsin and even Minnesota. I'm not saying they have a shot at winning the Big Ten, but they could probably surprise some people. But let me know. Let me know if there's any more reasons. Like, I didn't really talk about the offensive line that much, or even the defensive line, or even the linebackers, really. Manny Diaz, he's one of the best defensive minds in the entire country. He'll have his defense really, really good. This is going to be a top 5 defense, in my opinion, this year. And oh, by the way, Drew Aller is going to be something special to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.